I knew something was wrong the second the room stopped breathing. It happened in that strange, brittle silence between the clinking glasses and the polite applause, right when the lights dimmed for the slideshow the HR girl insisted on playing. 52 years of service photos flashed behind me. Smiling crew, perfect takeoffs, perfect landings. And then, her. My wife, standing far too straight in a crimson dress she only wore when she wanted an audience. My children flanking her like loyal witnesses, eyes bright, too bright. She wasn't holding a speech. She was holding an envelope, my name printed in neat, vicious letters. For a split second, the world tilted. Not violently, quietly, like a tray slipping from a steward's fingers in slow motion. The crash delayed, but inevitable. I didn't move, didn't blink, didn't give them a single drop of emotion. She stepped forward, placed the envelope in my hand, and said, loud enough for every camera, every colleague, every stranger to hear, "It's time." My children cheered, actually cheered, like it was a halftime show. I opened the envelope, divorce papers. Prepared, signed on her end, dated, filed. The applause died. The room shrank to a cold pinpoint. Everyone waited for the eruption, but nothing came. I took the pen from her manicured fingers, pressed the tip to the line, and signed with a calmness that tasted almost metallic. Then I leaned in, close enough that only she could hear. You truly have absolutely no idea what you just did to yourself. Her smile faltered, just slightly. The first crack. And that was the moment the countdown began. 3 months, ticking quietly, precisely, patiently. I didn't leave the party early. That would have given them too much satisfaction. I shook hands, posed for photos, accepted hollow congratulations from people who didn't know whether to pity me or fear me. I could feel my children's eyes on my back, whispering, laughing, celebrating the dismantling of my life. But beneath their laughter, there was something else, something practiced, rehearsed. A detail tugged at me, my daughter avoiding my gaze, my son's sudden guilt-smothering grin, my wife's trembling wrist when she lifted her glass. They weren't celebrating my downfall. They were celebrating something they thought they finally got away with. It wasn't the divorce they were excited about. It was the freedom. I replayed the last year in my mind. Her late nights, her carefully invented errands, my children's sudden eagerness to spend quality time with her, separately, their fake solidarity, the way the house changed, subtle decorations that didn't belong to either of us, placed with someone else's presence in mind. I had been gone on long flights for decades, but I wasn't blind. I wasn't foolish, just patient. As I shook my son's hand and felt his palm slick with nerves, realization hit with a cold thud. This wasn't just her betrayal, it was theirs too. Something connected all three of them. Something deliberate, something I wasn't supposed to notice. But I did. And that was their first mistake. The morning after the party, I started quietly. No accusations, no anger, just observation. While she slept in the guest room, an arrangement she insisted was temporary, I walked through the house like a crime scene investigator. I noticed replaced toiletries, a second toothbrush holder with only one toothbrush, hers, receipts tucked behind a lamp base, new bedding ordered 2 months earlier, for a bed I never slept in. Her phone vibrated on the counter. A name I didn't recognize flashed. Quote, "Are things going according to plan?" I didn't touch it. Didn't need to. The message told me everything. I made copies of financial records, bank statements, shared accounts, hidden transactions. She'd been siphoning money into a private account under my daughter's name. Interesting, messy, sloppy. Then there were the photos in my son's cloud backup, files automatically synced to our shared family plan, screenshots, late-night selfies taken in bars, wine glasses, a familiar hand on his mother's lower back. Not romantic, no, but complicit, too complicit. All three of them built a world without me long before the divorce papers. A life funded by my decades of work. They thought they were clever. But I spent 52 years analyzing flight paths, predicting storms, troubleshooting impossible system failures. Deception follows patterns. Betrayal leaves fingerprints. I collected every one of them. For weeks, I requested documents quietly, hired a forensic accountant, ordered paternity confirmation, not because I doubted my blood, but because she expected I never would. The results were clean. My children were mine. But their loyalty? Bought. Influenced, manipulated. The accountant called one night. I think you should see this in person. My heartbeat didn't rise. My breathing didn't change. I simply said, of course.
The truth was coming. I could already hear it approaching, slow and heavy, like landing gear deploying in the dark. The accountant laid the folders on the table like a surgeon placing organs in a dish. Your wife, he said, has been financially preparing for this divorce for over a year. Secret transfers, cash withdrawals, investments moved under false pretenses. I nodded, already expected. But this, he slid over another folder. This is different. A name, a man, a coworker at her office, a long-term affair, 4 years, hundreds of messages, hotel receipts, trips I paid for unknowingly. My children had known, actively helped hide it, even met the man. I closed the folder. It's enough? He asked. More than enough. I didn't confront her immediately, no. I waited until she entered the kitchen the next morning, robe tied carelessly, pretending to yawn like she hadn't spent the night texting him. I placed a single printed message on the table. Her eyes scanned it, her face drained, her hands shook. Where did you... I didn't answer, didn't need to. The truth hovered in the space between us, heavy and undeniable. She reached for the papers. I put my hand on them first. Her breath hitched. You ruined us, she whispered. I looked at her calmly. No, you ruined yourself. I waited until the court date to deliver the final blow. She arrived confident, makeup perfect, dressed for victory. My children walked behind her, avoiding my eyes, until they saw my attorney, not the cheap one she expected, the one her lover's ex-wife had hired years before, the one who knew every detail of their affair. When the evidence was presented, financial manipulation, hidden accounts, infidelity, her confidence shattered audibly. Gasps, whispers, my children frozen in place. She looked at me like I had gutted the floor beneath her feet. You planned this, she breathed, shaking. All along? I answered with a small, calm smile. No, I allowed you to plan your own downfall. I simply documented it. The court granted me everything she thought she had stolen. The house, the pension, the accounts, full rights. She was left with debts she had created, trying to build a future with another man. A future he abandoned once her lies went public. When we stepped out of the courthouse, she grabbed my arm. Please, we can fix this. I made a mistake. I turned slowly. You made a choice. I gently removed her hand. She didn't follow. She couldn't. The house is quiet now. Not empty, just honest. Their photos are boxed away. Their rooms untouched. Their absence, peaceful. I walk through the halls without anger, without regret. 3 months ago, they celebrated my ending. Tonight, I celebrate my beginning. I sit in the dark living room, the divorce decree resting on the table beside a neat stack of evidence. A reminder, not of her betrayal, but of my clarity. People think revenge is loud, explosive, violent. They're wrong. The coldest revenge is silence. The moment you stop caring. I lean back in my chair, exhale slowly, and let the quiet settle around me like a final verdict. She thought she freed herself from me, but in the end, I was the one who walked away. And I didn't look back.